Hi there, Sara Peternell with Family Nutrition Services. I am excited to be talking to you about a very fun subject that relates to Hashimoto's disease today. When I was an instructor at the Nutrition Therapy Institute, I taught a class, and one of the things that we discussed as a group with my students were the different types of body types that relate to different types of dominant glands in the endocrine system. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the dominant gland for the thyroid and how that affects the body type of different individuals who may have hypothyroidism and or Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So you may be wondering why this is important, but I can tell you that it relates on both a physical outward level and then also on a deep internal level and how your biology works. So the body type for the thyroid type person actually has a certain way of looking, and I can identify these pretty well even just when I'm out walking around in public, and I certainly can tell when my clients walk in the door if they are a thyroid type body type. These people tend to be generally relatively lean and to be relatively proportioned. Their body shape is pretty evenly proportioned from their shoulders to their hips, and they can be the type of body type that gains muscle really easily when they begin an exercise program, and conversely they can be the type that gains weight really quickly when they are not on a current fitness or nutrition plan. And unlike some of the other body types, those with a thyroid body type tend to gain weight all over. So for some people, if they're not sure if they're a thyroid body type, I always say go back and look at pictures of yourself from, a few years ago or maybe over the course of your life. And when you've been at your heaviest or you've been at your lightest, where do you see the biggest difference? Most people will say they see the biggest difference in their face. So the thyroid body type is, again, one that is evenly proportioned, easily gains muscle, but also can easily gain weight. So that sort of is the double-edged sword for the thyroid body type. The thyroid body type also generally, these people often are fair-skinned and fair-haired, and if they don't have light-colored hair, they maybe did as a child, or they may have family members who also are light-skinned or light-haired. Also, a lot of thyroid-type people have moles and freckles on their skin. So that's another thing that I often look for. I've seen that quite commonly. The thing about the thyroid body type is that it's more than just the way that you look on the outside. There are also some personality characteristics that are common in people of a thyroid body type. I call these my work hard, play hard, burning the candle at both ends type A people, just like me. So as you know, I have Hashimoto's, and I recognize the thyroid type really easily because I see myself in them. When a woman or a man comes walking into my door, sometimes they've got their to-go coffee cup, and they've just come from another meeting, and they're on their way to someplace else, and they're checking their phone, and they're really busy, and they're doing all kinds of things, multitasking, focused, determined. This is often very much a thyroid body type. So I can tell if you're a thyroid type the minute you walk in my door, if you're walking fast and talking fast, because that has been me for a big part of my life as well. Thyroid body type people, their personalities are such that they can go, 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 much like the Energizer Bunny, until they hit that wall, and then boom, they are down for the count. They can become very fatigued very quickly, maybe need several days of rest, sleep for hours and hours and hours to try to rebuild their strength and energy. So as you can see, this type of body type, while it has a lot of potential for energy, communication, gregariousness, productivity, creativity, they're also really sort of fragile in a way. The thyroid body type tends to be a little bit fragile in that they need supportive rest to keep those batteries charged. Now, the thyroid body type is the thyroid body type for a reason. It actually has to do with the fact that those who have a thyroid body type tend to not digest carbohydrates as well as other people, as other body types. And that is due to often the lack of amylase enzymes in the salivary glands, and then other enzymes in the digestive tract that help to break down complex carbohydrates and starches. So what happens when we consume these types of foods is that we actually disrupt our digestion because it creates fermentation. Yep, just like when you're maybe brewing beer, or you're fermenting kombucha, or you're making sauerkraut, that fermentation process are actually bacteria that are feasting on the sugars of the carbohydrates. And in the thyroid body type, this is actually taking place in the gut. So do you feel bloated? Do you feel fatigued? Do you have gas? Do you have tummy aches? Do you feel like you have a rock in the bottom of your stomach? That can certainly be a sign that you are not digesting carbohydrates very well. And you may be lacking some of these enzymes that you need to completely digest all of your complex carbohydrates. Now, the thing is that people who are thyroid body types, we love our carbohydrates. Carbohydrates give us energy. They tend to stimulate the thyroid gland. They help to kind of get us over that 3 p.m. afternoon hump when we are feeling tired, we are feeling low motivation, we are feeling like we need a coffee or maybe a piece of candy. That is usually a sign also of being thyroid body type, is that you will have cravings for carbohydrates. I even know some really healthy thyroid body type people, and they don't eat candy and they don't drink coffee, but you know what they like? Rice and vegetables and whole grains. And these also are signs that they are relying on carbohydrates to help support their energy. This makes sense when you think about the necessity for whole grains and carbohydrates to help our bodies convert our thyroid hormones into the active and usable thyroid hormone T3. So that's a little bit for you today about the thyroid body type. There are ways in which we can support your digestion better if you have problems with carbohydrates, if you are a walk fast, talk fast, maybe a little bit bloated and a little bit fatigued type of person. There are ways that we can work together to help you get back to feeling your best. So go ahead over to my website, visit sarapeternell.com. I've got some information and resources there in my blogs, more about Hashimoto's, and also some descriptions about the programs that I offer if you are someone who is struggling with Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism. Thanks so much for watching my YouTube channel, and I'll see you soon.